Okay. We are going live on various platforms. And hopefully we're going live for the first time on DLive with Steemit. God bless it. Which is where we are going to be hosting the show as our primary. Steemit. God bless it. Location now. Which is where we... excuse the feedback. And yeah, so anyway, if you're watching an archive version, you might want to fast forward a few minutes, just 3 or 4 minutes till the top of the show. Because I am setting up a new streaming platform today, I'm going to be running a few minutes late, true to form. So you might want to fast forward a wee bit, but otherwise, here, have some music. All right. Are you going to play? Bear with me, people. My machine is trying to keep up with all of this. All right, brilliant. See you in a minute, folks. Sounds like war drums. Because they want a war. They got an information war. Just like Glasnost with old Jeremy bloody whatnot. 2 minutes, folks. Blimey. Oh, Struth. That's my cue. Oh, Struth. There we go. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. There we go. That's some music. Daily Chaos! Hey! Evening all. Welcome to the Daily Chaos. The show ain't daily, but the chaos is. And now, police state. Why does Great Britain now resemble Gestapo Germany? And where the deuce are we going? Guests, calls, comments, feeds, trolls with me. And hey, look, you know what? There's a change today. There's a change. I've got no idea whether this is going to work. My God, I'll tell you what. I'm streaming out of 3 different places today. Fascistbot, as usual. Zuckerzit's place. YouTube, Youpwn. And that's PWN, yeah. And Steemit. Steemit, yeah. Steemit. That's the place to watch this show. And you can check that out on Steemit, guv.li /Steemit, STEEMIT. Guv.li Steemit. Bugger Fascistbot and bugger YouTube. Right, okay, that's enough of that. I need to do something better with that intro. Anyway, we have the open-eyed guy here, and I think I'll bring him in because I'm not at all prepared, so I need to talk to somebody. Open-eyed guy, can you hear me, sir? Okay, no worries.
I sure
Look,
can.
hey, open-eyed guy, how are you? How you doing?
I'm good.
Good. Okay, it's obviously a quiet news day again. Let's have a quick look and see what is going on. You're only going to be able to see this. You might actually be able to see it if I can get my act together, but you'll certainly be able to see it on Steemit because that's where the video is playing, folks. And there is the media panel there on Steemit. Now, hold on a sec. I need to set this up in 3 different instances because I'm using this
when
thing.
You've got Discord, Olly.
Hey?
Who needs Steemit if you got Discord?
Right, let me explain. Okay, so we talk on Discord. It's like a VoIP client. That's how we have our chat and people can be nice and interactive and all the rest of it, which you can't do with Skype anymore. But that's for input. To go out, to stream out, we go to various streaming channels like, you know, Facebook. And
I don't think you get the joke,
it's one of them. Eh?
It was a joke. It was a joke.
Ah, okay. Please don't confuse me anymore. I'm so bloody confused as it is. We've got Neon V6 here. That will be Aaron. Aaron, God bless you, sir. How are you? Okay, all right. That's
Aaron, turn off. Turn off mute.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, Aaron. I think we're going to be having an interesting old chat tonight. I suspect I am able to pull up on. I hope it's going to stream on all 3 platforms. My media panel so that you can see what I'm looking at news-wise. Let's just have a quick look and see what's going on with the news today.
Well, I've just heard some interesting bits from Tony Robinson's cameraman as well today.
Hold on, Aaron. Hold that thought, mate. Oh, bugger that Mambo loop. Right, okay, let's have a quick look, see what's going on with Fake Stream. Buildergraph, ridiculous waste to blame for NHS woes. Never mind that it's a police state. Never mind that. That's the news, man. That's the news, Buildergraph. Oh, bloody hell. Hammond is a tosser and some other distraction. Financial EU Times. Italian market turmoil deepens as president picks new premier. Okay, I have to say, that's a pretty big story too, yeah. That's a pretty big story too, which we will be talking about tonight, I've no doubt. Bottom line there is that Italy went to the polls for, I think, the 64th time since 1946. And they, again, didn't choose an overall, majority party, but they did. The 2 parties that could put together a coalition managed to. Despite their differences and their geographical differences as well, because one of them particularly represents the north of the country and the other one very much the south. But nonetheless, they did manage to put it together and agree on a prime minister that they agreed to, they were happy with. This economics chap that the fake stream and the establishment tried to say wasn't qualified. That all went through with the president. It was okayed with the president of Italy. Then they put forward their choice for finance minister, who happens to be a very Euro currency skeptic and Eurosceptic. And the president vetoed their choice. He said, nope, I'm not having him. I'm not having him as your finance minister. I'm vetoing it. And under their constitution, that is legal. So we are now in a situation where that president has, instead of endorsing what is the most democratic, all in all coalition that the country could put together, instead of endorsing that and realizing that the euro is a mess, not recognizing the unemployment in his own country as a result of the euro, which affects the pigs, Portugal, Italy, Ireland, Spain, and Greece and Spain. And instead of that, he has put together a caretaker, or asked a caretaker government to be put together by, guess what? An IMF economist. Another Brussels bankster. Yeah? That's bottom line there. It's another Monti situation that is going on. Mario Monti, another bloody technocrat that he put in power I think it was the same president. And so anyway, they're in a very interesting situation there. The next election campaign in Italy presumably is going to see La Liga and possibly Five Star Movement campaigning on a ticket to impeach the president. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know. Watch this space. But that's basically what's going on in Italy. And of course, I guess this president, his reckoning is that he could gamble that there wouldn't be so much unrest at his disgraceful veto because people are scared of change. We're all scared of change. People don't like change. So I guess that's his reckoning, is that he could get away with it. And sadly, such sheep that we are, he probably would be right. But anyway, no question about it. It's definitely bubbling up a lot of angst in Italy. Of course it is. They see their country going to the dogs, their culture going down the tubes, their youth having reduced opportunity, and so on and so forth. And so I imagine that things are going to be kicking off more and more in Italy as more and more people wake up and realize that they have to fight tyranny. And indeed, who runs Italy, yeah? Do the Italians run it? Or do the Germans? Yeah? Who runs Italy? Okay. RBS sell-off. Government ready to dispose. Independent.
Ollie,
thanks
more
for
important.
news. Go on, Aaron. Go on, Aaron.
The D notice has been lifted. The D
Oh.
notice has been lifted.
Okay. It wasn't actually a D notice, was it? It was a reporting restriction.
Yes, it was.
Is there a
classified as-
difference? Is there a difference, Aaron, between a D notice and reporting restrictions? I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I ought
It's
to
the
know
same bloody thing.
that. Yeah. Well, in effect, it is. It's censorship. That's what it is. But yeah, okay. So what's the deal? What's going on? Tell us then. Well, we'll come on to that because we're going to be basically concentrating the whole show on that. Let's just get through and look at the distraction. I want people to see how they are being distracted by these bastards in the media who, in my opinion, are more culpable than anyone else, including the politicians, for the simple reason that when people become a journalist, it's to report the news, not make it up. Anyway, all right, that's why it's so important. So important that you do not pay for propaganda. Don't pay your license fee. Refuse to pay the BBC. If you do, you're supporting paedophilia. Yeah, it's as simple as that. You're supporting VIP paedophiles. Oh my God. And you're also supporting BRINO, by the way, because they are out and out bloody BRINOists, are they not? Right, okay. Daily Mail, Britain's child obesity disgrace. Frankly, another distraction, worrying as it is. For crying out loud, we need to sort our education out. It's as simple as that. High speed, distraction. Kylie bloody Minogue. I mean, lovely girl, but who bloody cares? No justice. Okay, let's have a quick look at this. Gary Newlove's widow has revealed her anguish at two of her killers will be released. Okay, looks like more distraction to me. The Slimes. Brussels and Brexiteers united in anger over budget extension. Okay, let's have a look at this one. Britain will help to determine the EU's £1 trillion budget up to 2027 after European countries defied Brussels and invited UK officials to take part in negotiations. We don't want to take part! The invitation, which has been accepted by maybe, was made because EU officials believe that Britain will keep paying billions of euros to Brussels for years after Brexit. Of course we will. We're just a cash cow. We're just a cash cow. Take it. Hey, where's my wallet? Have my wallet. Take it. Take the lot. Not that I'm annoyed. UNU of sex for food scandal at top charities. Oh, yeah, you know, who was David Miliband, yeah. David Miliband coming back on the EU, bloody moron scene. David Miliband? Yeah, that guy that was beaten by his brother who doesn't know how to eat a burger or something. David Miliband's charity is mired in all this as well, yeah. His charity is mired in all these sex allegations as well. I just wanted to point that out. Abramovich can enter UK after getting an Israel passport, apparently. So that's more on the Russians' story. As if the Russians are as big a problem as the bloody Saudis. The Guardian revealed the 21 billion wealth that built up by Oxford and Cambridge. So that's just another divide rule, incitement to hate type story. Abramovich is granted citizenship by Israel. Lucky him. The Sun, Raheem shoots oh, Jesus. Live BJ. Oh, my God. This just is not the Sun. The Spin. The Star, tits and arse. Our troops get a pay rise at last. Is that really a top story? Daily Express, back our soldiers in fight for justice. Public must help end Ulster witch hunt, says War Hero. Actually, this is a pretty big story. A War Hero yesterday urged Britons to help secure justice for ex-soldiers facing prosecution over the troubles in Northern Ireland. I think we should do a show on this, actually. Doug Beattie, who won the Military Cross in Afghanistan, said British soldiers should be given the same royal pardons as convicted IRA killers. But that wouldn't serve the divide rule, would it? I think that's a very big story, and maybe somebody can suggest a guest for me to come on and talk about that. I know we've got a lot of ex-military that watch this show. God bless you. Okay, all right. ABC cancels Roseanne. Oh, blimey! I'll tell you what, it's far too revealing, isn't it? Far too revealing. God bless you, Roseanne. And that's their top story. It really is actually another distraction, I have to say. Drudge, sometimes I worry about you, mate.
Because she came out and supported Trump, that's why.
That's right. That's it, Aaron. That's it. Yeah, that is it. Is it not? Right, build a graph now, tonight. So that was this morning. Tonight, okay, according to Jeremy Warner, who's one of the correspondents for the Telegraph, who sometimes writes some very good stuff and sometimes writes a lot of old crap, in my opinion. The way things are going, Italy could be out of the European Union before Britain. Have a round of applause. Belgium shooting, terror investigation after released prisoner kills 2 female police officers and a passerby. Oh my God. Okay, so we got a story. We got a story. Guess what it is? Guess what it's about? It's about the sort of thing that they don't want reported, isn't it? Really? Yeah. A suspected terrorist on day release from prison executed 2 female police officers with their own guns and shot dead a trainee teacher before he was killed. Thank God for that, I'll tell you what. Save some money. No need to incarcerate these bastards. After taking 2 women hostage at a school in the center of the Belgian city of Liège, the bloody rampage this morning, which left another 4 officers wounded, was captured on videos on social media. Oh, so that's why they're being honest about the fact that it's basically another religious nutter. Which showed the black-clad man waving a pistol in each hand and shouting, Allahu Akbar, before he was gunned down by elite officers. Belgium's Federal Prosecutor's Office has opened a terror investigation into the attack, and he's buggered off for his 40 virgins. Right, okay, so I'll tell you, I mean, this is just all, when are people going to wake up to what's happened to Europe, guys? Aaron? They're not paying attention. The open-eyed guy, mate. Can you believe how frequent now are these atrocities? Or Aaron?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, sir.
Oh, what the heck's going on?
I don't know. Talking to your mic. We could do smoke signals. GCHQ. I'll tell you, you never want to get routed through GCHQ. The Times, May resists calls to change Northern Ireland abortion laws. Well, I don't know. Yeah. Okay, that's Northern Ireland. Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know if they're going to have a second referendum over that in Ireland. I don't know. PM must play a difficult woman's game on divisive issue, which is again referring, I suppose, to what should there be a debate about abortion in Northern Ireland? Maybe not. The Conservative Party was barely 2 weeks into its febrile and ultimately truncated leadership election in July 2016 when Ken Clarke, sorry, I have to recover, was invited by Sky News to give his views. But it was an exchange off air when Mr. Clarke was unaware that it was being filmed. Okay, let's see if we can get this. Maybe he'll tell us about, I don't know, his time working with Tim Fortescue in the Whip's office in Heath's government, the one that took us into the EC. That Tim Fortescue that admitted that they used child rape to get MPs to vote in line, to toe the line with the government, and basically sell, in the case of that government, the EEC. Yeah, that was Tim Fortescue, who was desk sharing, near us, damn it, in the same office as Ken Clarke. Ken Clarke, when you see him on Question Time, if you get a chance to get on that show, ask him about that. Does he agree with that? And maybe he'd like to pipe up a bit about Ben Fellows as well, although that was thrown out of court. I don't know. Allegedly. Theresa May must play a difficult woman's game on abortion. Look, chaps, I'm sorry. If you guys would like to chip in a bit, I'm feeling a bit angry. And when I get angry, I guess I spew off a bit.
Can you hear me?
Aaron, yes.
Sorry, it was something that was running in the background, which was overpowering the rest of the PC again. Okay, the D notice on Tommy Robinson's trial has been lifted.
Now, hold on, Aaron. With regards to that D notice, we're going to devote this second half of this show, well, most of it, to talking about that. So bear
I
with
just
me.
I want to pass the information on before I forget it, because your screaming tends to be a bit. Okay, what was I thinking?
Oh, you're right. You're right. Bugger the rest of the news. You're right. It's all fake anyway. It's all distraction. Guess what? Terrorist atrocities throughout Europe, and the real story, as we know, off the back of this bank holiday weekend in the UK, is that our culture has been possessed into a police state. Please explain that. Please expand upon that, Aaron, and tell us the latest.
Right, okay. Caelan Robertson, Tommy Robinson's cameraman, and also deals with the media, has also been on InfoWars tonight. So has Godfrey Bloom, speaking to Alex Jones. Mm-hmm. Now, the D notice has been lifted. Now, this is where the fun starts. The same judge, which has been pictured looking out the window of the court as Tommy Robinson was arrested, is the same judge from the paedophile trial, and the same judge which actually convicted Tommy Robinson.
Right. Okay. Not that he's going to be biased in any way. I mean, the problem there is surely
it gets better.
Go on.
Because he only, he says, I only need to see a small, and he admitted this as well in the trial transcripts, a small part of what was live streamed by Tommy Robinson. So he didn't see the full context or the full amount. He convicted Tommy Robinson, regardless of his previous suspended sentence of 13 months. And because he wasn't allowed to have his own solicitor, who has got experience in the contempt side, they issued a court representative one who had no knowledge of the specific technical side of the law. So she advised Tommy Robinson to go for the contempt of court and which will end up with a reduced sentence and be let out early, even when she admitted that he could be killed in prison.
Hold on a sec. Sorry, who recommended this? His appointed lawyer, as opposed to a lawyer. His court-appointed lawyer?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Who, as I understand it from Rebel Media, that lawyer doesn't specialize in contempt of court.
Precisely. Now, Rebel Media...
That's useful.
Rebel Media had been trying to get a court case going through the British branch, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, at the moment, it's a case of the whole thing is a bit... I want to put this... They've seen you've seen the video itself, the full hour-long plus.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't on court land, right?
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't causing the obstruction,
mm-hmm.
okay? And there was nobody else in the street apart from him, right? So how could he have... so Godfrey Bloom has mentioned this. The Drudge Reports has mentioned this. InfoWars, Alex Jones has mentioned this.
Mm-hmm. Godfrey
Bloom has mentioned this.
Mm-hmm.
How could he be arrested for contempt? Okay, of course. Arrested for breach of the peace when there's nobody else there, and it was on public land, not court land, and then be it switched across to contempt of court when the information that the judge had seen wasn't even relevant, as he put it, and therefore could be used to prosecute him.
It's all very... I mean, it seems to me there is potentially an even more damning part to all of this, and that is that this judge seems to be extremely unprofessional in that this judge witnessed Tommy. I mean, there's a picture. I put it on my timeline earlier on Facebook, for example. He witnessed Tommy outside on the street, not in the court, with two other people. They weren't causing any mayhem, anything like that. Tommy's language was good in terms of the way that he dealt with the then alleged rapists. I'm not even sure what happened with that trial because there's been no reporting on it. But we can come on to that. But the judge witnessed him out there doing nothing particularly wrong at all. And the judge, as witness, judged that he should be detained. Is there not something peculiar about is it actually legal for the judge to be relying on his own testimony as a witness? Now, Aaron, I know you're not a legal head, and neither am I.
I think what they've used as evidence
doesn't it?
should be in the live stream.
Pardon?
I think what they've used as evidence, rather than his own witnessing the event, what they've probably written done is went and used the part of the live stream as evidence of the whole thing.
Right. Okay. It's all very, very murky, is it not?
The fact that the judge.
Excuse me. That's me doing that. I apologise. I'm mixing you. Carry on again, Aaron. Sorry.
Okay, considering the fact that the judge was standing in the window, okay, Tommy Robinson had been live streaming for an hour before he was arrested, and it was the further 15 minutes approximately on top of that, okay, and that was on a public right of way. It was actually on the street, okay, even if that was had the court on one side or civil service on the other side or a civil building on the other side, it was still on a public street. It was not on court land. Yes. Okay.
So what did he actually do wrong?
That was the problem, because previously, what his previous conviction last year, which was the Rebel Media went and forked out for, and they got specialists involved because of the problem. You know how how the media like to report on the steps when it comes to court cases, whether it's a paedophile or not, whoever. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy Robinson actually got permission to do that last year. Okay, and that actual allowing by the police officer was thrown out as saying it wasn't relevant, and he wasn't allowed to actually be on court land doing reporting.
Okay.
You can see how it's going to be one rule for them and another rule for everybody else.
I think we need to get a legal head on this show to try and thrash this out a bit. But I mean, just the whole thing stinks, doesn't it? Do we know what happened aside from the Tommy case? What happened with What happened with the I don't know, what was it? A Pakistani child rape gang again? I'm just kind of assuming here because that's the kind of the norm, isn't it? Is that what the trial was about? And do we know any detail on that? What happened?
The Pakistani Muslim grooming gang was 29 people.
Hold on a sec. They're not grooming. They're child raping. Grooming is one of these words. It doesn't sound as bad. It's not an Asian grooming gang. It's a Pakistani child rape gang. Sorry, Aaron, carry on, please. Excuse my pedantics.
Regardless of what we want to call them, we know that they did the fucking wrong. Excuse my language. But in this case, they was actually supposed to be due for sentencing. In other words, they actually went and had closing arguments and everything on the Friday. The Tuesday, in other words, today, is when they were due to be sentenced. Now, if you consider the fact that the whole mess regarding what's happened with how Tommy Robinson was handled, okay, over the weekend, and there's been rallies in support of Tommy at Downing Street and at Parliament and Speaker's Corner, not to mention around the planet, at the British embassies in Tel Aviv in Australia.
Yeah.
And in the US, apparently.
I think it was not a congressman or an ex-congressman in Australia said that Australia should give Tommy Robinson political asylum.
Yes, and I put that as a joke to Alex Jones. I think if Trump had tweets it probably will happen. As it turned out, 24 hours after I put that comment on InfoWars on the live feed, Trump Jr. came out.
Really?
No, I kid you not.
Hold on a sec. I need to get my notebook. Oh, blimey. My notebook is over here, and I need to go and get it without, oh, blimey, upsetting the camera. Here we go. Call me
Oi.
Jewelry, jingly jangly.
Now
then, boys and girls, Charlie.
Right.
Right.
How you doing, Ollie?
That's Witcher. We got Dave
Hello,
Witcher in the
darling.
house. Hello, mate. How are you, sir? How are you?
Hello, darling. How are you?
Ah, man. Now, Dave. I'll tell you. Okay,
Listen.
I got a question for you, sir. I got a question for you. How do we keep our heads here? Because there's a lot of people also that are very worried that there is an excuse here. There could be a false flag coming along, that kind of thing. And then we got martial law. We have to play this careful, do we not?
We have to play everything carefully, Ollie. Do you know what? I think this weekend the fuse has been lit. The tinderbox is off and running. It's been amazing. I went up to London yesterday. I wasn't there on Saturday, but I went up yesterday. A woman called Tracy, she got up and spoke about the 3 lads that were run down and murdered in January by some extremists. Let's just use that word, in a car over the other side of London. And media hush up. No media reporting. It seems to be alternative media is just a gift. But they tried to storm the gates of Downing Street. The police put put their hands on their weapons, I don't believe for 1 minute that the police would have shot anybody.
Who tried to storm?
Oh,
On the other day, on Saturday afternoon,
yeah,
a few folks out
Saturday,
there. We covered
yeah,
that. Or we carried some of those feeds.
Yeah,
Yeah. People were actually trying to jump over the gates there, or
yeah. The gates were being rattled. There was one lad trying to jump over the gates. There was flags being poked through. The political establishment.
How did they get there? Because there were police between the crowd and the gates.
Well, I can show you the live streams. That's not a problem. It actually happened. It's evidenced. It's on camera.
Wow.
There were many thousands of people there. I actually met the guy yesterday that shut the road off, and a coach or a bus tried to push past him, and he punched it with his fist, and he's bruised all his knuckles. But they actually managed to shut the road off for quite some time, and they took over the road. And they just congregated on Downing Street. Now, yesterday when we went up there, you could see that the police were up for it.
They were outside Downing Street on Whitehall.
I was yesterday, yeah. I was up there for hours yesterday.
And the crowd. So that was another protest yesterday. But
it wasn't a protest as such yesterday. It was just a meeting of people. And it was really for the 3 lads that got killed in January by some extremists in a car. They mounted the pavement and just murdered these 3 young individuals in cold blood. And you know, Ollie, what bothers me?
We had Tracy pop on the show.
Yeah,
to talk about that. Bless
God bless. Mate, she made me cry yesterday. I can't believe what we are allowed. We've allowed a Trojan horse to come into this country. We've never been attacked from the inside before. And I'll tell you something, I'm not too sure who said it, but a nation cannot survive an attack from the inside. But I truly believe that if the establishment actually harm or allow one hair on Tommy's head to be harmed, there will be mayhem of the most grievous kind.
But is that not what they want? Is that not what they want?
Well, I'd like to add that don't forget, Tommy Robinson isn't political. He's not a political prisoner. Tommy Robinson is a journalist. He's someone that is avidly going out there.
So far as the government's concerned, he is a political prisoner.
They can label him what they like, but he is a journalist.
No, they're not labeling him that. I mean, that's my estimation, Dave. But I mean, come on. Yeah, I mean, he is. He's there for political reasons. He's in prison because people like him, because people understand what he says when they actually bother to listen. You know what? I want to say something here. I want to say something because I think that this speaks for the vast majority of the people in the UK, all in all, the kind of mentality, the kind of attitude towards Tommy Robinson, yeah? And folks like Tommy, people like Jada, for example. The Paul Golding and Jada Franson. Before I started doing the show before Chaos was Daily Brexit, before I started doing that, I got to be honest with you, I was pretty pig ignorant about what Tommy Robinson was about. And I think that this is typical of the British people, is that we're not informed enough. And unless you actually bother to go out there and do the research, you don't really know. My impression, my understanding of Tommy Robinson from the media was that he was pretty extreme, that he was connected with the EDL, which of course he did set up, but then he left, saying that extremists had infiltrated that and that he didn't like that. He thought it had gone too far to the right. And so he left, as we know. And actually, when you listen to him, and see him on a stage with someone like Mohammed Fayez, who's been on the show a few times, bless him, and he's an incredible bloke. He's got a hell of a story to tell.
He is. I've met him.
But before you do this research and before you actually bother to see these speeches, in fact, you're put off to watch these speeches because you've been told by, oh, lovely auntie, that lovely Hugh Edwards bloke, he's got a lovely smile and a beautiful Welsh brogue and all that. And you think, they're probably right. And so, I'm not going to watch anything to do with this guy. I don't want to know anything about him. When you actually bother to find out, when you just watch one speech and you realize, my God, the guy's just speaking sense. He's just speaking sense.
Shattered.
My point being, hand on heart, I have had a sea change of attitude, of understanding, a chrysalis of awareness, so far as, for example, Tommy Robinson is concerned. And I see that he is being...
Can I say something that
vilified. Hold on, just one second, Aaron. He's being vilified because what he says does not fit in with the, if you like, the jurisdiction of, for example, the Barcelona Declaration.
Sure.
The sort of the Frankfurt school of, divide and rule. And as you say, Dave, this kind of Trojan horse that's been brought in, which is this tooth fairy religion, which nobody in the UK relates to. I'm talking about British people, yeah? I'm talking about indigenous British people. And this import is poison to our culture. It does not mix. I'm not saying all Muslims. Right. I'm not saying that's the case with all Muslims. I'm not saying that.
No,
but I am saying, and I would say, by the way, I mean, don't get me wrong. I give Catholicism, Protestantism, and pretty much any bloody religion, certainly the Abrahamic religions, a hard time. I haven't got any time for any of them. It's got nothing to do with God, in my opinion. Religion. No. Religion is just a control grid, a control construct. And so I'm just saying that, because it is balanced. It's not just like anti-Islamist or whatever. It just seems to me that the logic of the tooth fairy does not fit in with what is an increasingly secular society that we were doing so well. Anyway, I just wanted to make that point. I just wanted to make that point because when you have this divide rule between you're pro-Tommy or you're anti-Tommy or whatever, I think we need to understand it from the other point of view. We are sheep, naturally. We all want to be led. It's perfectly normal. Yeah. Just like we had parents and we hopefully respected our parents. They were our leaders.
That's right.
We want leaders. Yeah. And it upsets us tremendously when we realize that they're not truly leading us. Except down a sewer of politically correct bloody bullshit.
They are leading us.
Right, can I shatter a few things
Anyway,
tonight,
I just want to say that because we do need to be patient with each other. When they don't agree with
Olly,
you, we have to be patient. Carry on, please.
Caelan Robertson went and mentioned something on InfoWars in the live interview with Alex Jones, okay? Now, after what happened to Tommy Robinson, okay, he went into the gay bars in London, okay? So I'm only going to repeat roughly what he said, okay? He was getting people coming up to him from the LGBT community, from all corners, people who never liked Tommy Robinson or hated him in the past, all see his arrest for what it is. It is actually awakening eyes, and it's bringing people out.
It's a catalyst.
And people were actually at those rallies who would not normally listen to Tommy Robinson, who probably even hated him.
Exactly.
And it wasn't just one or two people of all white or one or two people of different of one colour or whatever. It was across the board. I was watching various different live streams. So were you, okay? And Caelan Robertson was actually getting people, even from, let's just say they can't go on record, okay? We're talking current police, either be it at the ground level or higher up. We're talking some in the political system who are actually waiting for something to get behind, because even they've had enough of the current situation.
I agree with you. I agree.
It's a case of there are those who are in it for themselves and those who are in it for the good.
Yeah.
Okay. The ones who are in it for the good, I'll say, for example, Kate Howie. Okay. I will say Bill Cash.
Gisela Stewart.
Okay? I'll just give them those two as examples. Okay. But you get the idea.
Yeah. Sure.
They are waiting for something to get behind. Now, if you consider the fact that at the weekend, you had ex-MEPs from different political parties mentioning not only UKIP, but for Britain in the same sentence as the Football Lads Alliance and the Football Lad Culture and other Veterans Against Terrorism in the same sentence and same breath of getting behind Tommy Robinson. What's that
How many
saying?
girls have to be raped? How many girls have to have acid in their face? How many bomb blasts at pop concerts? How many kids getting run over on the street, mowed down by cars? Does it actually have to take before the British people will actually stand up?
It doesn't help the fact the media is the problem.
I agree.
Now, if you also,
I agree. The media is the biggest problem here. The
Well,
media
God,
has
you
a
mentioned-
duty to its readership to print the facts, instead of which it's essentially a PR service for plutocracy.
That's right.
Do you remember Dunley?
There's a lot of people out there don't even know nothing's going on.
That's
Do
Thomas
you remember
Whitelock. That's Thomas Whitelock. Hold it. One second, Aaron. 1 second, Aaron. I want to bring a couple of other folks into this. Thomas Whitelock, what would you like to say, sir?
There's a lot of people out there who don't even know what's going on regarding Tommy Robinson or leaving the EU or anything. They're totally clueless.
Well, they're going to get what's coming, aren't they?
Yeah, well, if they're not getting informed, there's
We
guys.
all need to be outside Windsor Castle. That's where.
Yeah,
that's the
there's
next
people
move.
who don't go on Facebook, who don't go on the internet, who don't even use their phones. Unless there is an outlet to get them notified, they're certainly not going to get notified from the press or by the media.
Well, let's all go to the printing press then. Let's all start getting some crowdfunding. Let's go to the printing press. Let's start delivering A4 leaflets through people's front doors. We need to do this. Listen, I've got great faith and conviction in I've been doing what I've been doing for about 8 years. I know that this revolution is going to happen in 2018, and Saturday was a taster for things to come. I just hope the British establishment are paying attention, because if they don't, 65 million people are going to descend on them and things are going to get messy. I don't want that.
Well, I heard today that our police force is going to be disbanded.
Into G4S?
No. That's just a little smoke screen, that G4S crap.
Go on, Thomas.
What it is in Europe, there is something like 4,000 policemen that are going to be coming to the UK. And that's only for starters.
There'll be a war.
There won't be a war. There won't be a war.
You don't think so?
Put it this way, Dave. If these policemen come into the country and they're armed, it won't be a war. It'll be annihilation.
Okay,
I don't think that'll happen.
I'm going to take a few comments here to involve our commenters. Bless you. And it's awfully confusing now because I'm trying to pull out comments from 3 different places now. We got to get on Steemit, people, you know. We got to stop supporting fascism. I know Facebook, we got to use it as best we can. Use it. But don't respect it. Don't respect fascism. That is exactly what it is. A data collection. It's a data mining place. They're spying on you. And it's the same with YouTube. Exactly the same deal. They're just corralling us into an echo chamber. So anyway, look, my point is that we need to be using Steemit. So please, please, please support this and watch this show now if you possibly can. Please, please, please. guv.li /Steemit. STEEMIT. Bugger Facebook. Bugger YouTube. I'm only there to basically, you know, I don't want to disrespect the community and then lose the community that is here. And God bless you. You're wonderful. But I want you to move over. I want to steal you away from Facebook and YouTube onto a platform which cannot be controlled by government on the blockchain. And that's a whole technical thing that, quite frankly, I don't bloody understand either. But nonetheless, we'll do it. Well, I don't know. We'll talk about that more one day. Hey, but so get on Steemit, please. guv.li /Steemit. That is the equivalent of my profile page on Facebook or whatever. and the live video is there, and you actually get to see the video as well for what it's worth. Anyway, some comments. Paul Reesham, got to wait 2 weeks or pay in Bitcoin. I don't even know where to start with that. Lots of laugh. Oh, no, you don't, Paul. No, you do not. Not to watch the show, you don't. I don't think... Oh, blimey, I tell you, I'm a bit confused myself. We'll get some of the guys from Axiom Curb, bless them. PJ, big shout out to you. Thank you so much for helping me to set up Steemit. But no, you don't to watch it. If you go to guv.li forward, it's just a pretty link, yeah, to make it simple. guv.li/Steemit, S-T-E-E, 2 E's, S-T-E-E-M-I-T. If you go there, it should be the top post, live. I hope. Somebody please tell me that's correct, because I haven't actually checked. But I think it should be. Anyway, right, okay. Stab, Woodcutter, who's another one of the Axiom guys. God bless you. The gagging order yesterday.
Stav.
The gagging order yesterday set a precedence for suppressing free speech. They can now do this for any reason whenever they like. Friday's action that was allowed to stand was the last straw. He has had to rescind this. I think he realizes, the judge, I think that she realizes she made a mistake, and actually she wondered if she was going to get sacked. I don't know, struck off or something. Anyway, she still should be, in my opinion, after what she's done. I don't know. I think this is a debate that we need to have. I think we need to keep the pressure on the fudge judge, personally. I think that we need to do everything we can to fight against this police state. I mean, state the bleeding obvious, yeah? Axiom Code Community, this is probably PJ, says, Ollie, the link you provided goes only to Steemit. Oh, God, blimey. Oh, PJ, please put the link in for me or something.
I like what Godfrey Bloom said a couple of weeks ago, Ollie. He said, we need to go down to Westminster and give them a jolly good thrashing, he said.
But actually, though, we do have to play it very careful, don't we? And also, there is a good argument to say, never mind Westminster or Downing Street. We should be petitioning the Queen. We should be massing outside Windsor Castle, going to the head of state. No?
If you lived in a country that was decent, Ollie, that I mean, you look at Bashar Assad. The media portrays Bashar Assad as a heathen, but he walks down his streets, he goes into his shops, and his people high five him and love him. They won't touch him.
Yeah,
we should have leaders like that.
Well,
now,
they're lucky because he's a benevolent dictator. But
right, if in your opinion and what you've been led to believe, however. If we was to firmly fix the gates of Parliament open and firmly fix the gates of Downing Street open so they were held accountable for their actions, they would never be in this position.
But then we would be shot, and they may even be able to incite a riot and impose martial law. I mean, this is this kind of circle we keep going round. We go on, what's your answer?
It won't happen in this country. The ethos of this country is common law, natural law, and the minute that to try and become a dictator in this country is so foolish. I can't even talk about it, because when the people actually do rise and get it, they'll have their heads on. They will drag them out in the street and chop their heads off. I'm telling you now, it's coming.
Okay, let's take a few more comments because
Ollie,
daily Brexit. No, but hold on. Look, can I just say, please, this is Baxter. Please stop commenting as daily Brexit, because people think you're me, and that's misrepresentative. But nonetheless, he has a good point. He says, I think you need a gagging order, Ollie, so the guests can speak. Benny Dip, the press reported on the likes of Savile, Glitter, etc. Did they get jailed? Did they report? Only after the guy was dead. And even then, the BBC tried to cover it up. We know the BBC tried to cover it up when ITV, they pulled the plug on a documentary that then ITV went and made. That's the BBC for you. You pay for propaganda. You're paying for paedophiles. Benny Dip, that was his point. Thank you. Carol Jean Horson. Hey, Carol Jean says Agenda 21, quite simply. Lorna Howe, if we want to overthrow the government, we need to make our monarchy take the lead. And Benny Div says, "Shut up and let the people talk." All right. Yeah. I'm going to tell you, is it right to read out some comments? People have bothered to comment. Maybe I should read them out. John Middleton, freelance journalist, Sovran, just like the news media. Honey M says, "You're right, Ollie. People need to listen to Tommy before they judge him. He speaks the truth." Chris Warren, they wanted Tommy silenced at all costs. He was in the process of making a documentary that would shock the country. And
that's so true there.
And Paul Rees-Ham says that this situation, he believes, is bringing unity. And also somebody said something quite encouraging here. Ben says, for example, Thomas' arrest has awoken the silent majority. And he also says, "I've had numerous people asking me who Tommy Robinson is since his arrest." Yeah, well, this is not the first. This is hardly an isolated case, Dave. It sparked our ire. But I mean, for example, this is what they did with Melanie Shaw. In fact, that was worse, wasn't it?
Well, I just think Tommy Robinson has grown into something else. He's morphed into this huge thing, and he's not being demonised. Like, say, we had someone in the past got locked away that was walking, goose stepping down Whitehall. Mosley got locked up, never really heard of again. Tommy's not going down that road. Tommy's standing up for the truth. They've got a hot potato now because they ain't really going to know what to do with Tommy. I will say this much: if anything happens to him, the people will take Downing Street. They will smash them gates down. They will drag them out on the streets, and they will meke out natural justice in their own ways. I don't want to see that. I think the establishment are wise enough to know they best not let anything happen to Tommy Robinson. I would also say to anyone that's listening, if you want to, and it is your free will and your freedom of speech, ring Hull Prison and make sure that you're checking up and making sure that no harm has come to him, and let them know that you're watching them, because they don't like the people of this country watching what they're doing. It scares them.
Okay.
So,
has he been moved from Armley?
I want to. Sorry. Go on, Thomas. What was that?
I thought he was in Leeds prison.
Hull.
I want
it's Hull, yeah.
Okay, it's Hull. No, it's Hull apparently. I want to play something which some of you will be able to see if you're on Steemit. Otherwise, hopefully it'll make sense from the audio alone. This is Godfrey Bloom talking about Tommy Robinson and English law. If it'll play.
A number of people have asked me to do a podcast on Tommy Robinson, the case of Tommy Robinson. Now, I've done a lot of podcasts in the last 6 months on the principles of English law, which I regard as being extremely important, which are being circumnavigated almost on a weekly basis. Now, most of the principles of English law are governed by statute, but there are a couple which are governed by tradition. One is the great comment that was made in the 1930s that law should be that which is deemed to be fair by the man on the Clapham omnibus, deemed to be fair, natural justice, if you will. And of course, the other one is not only must justice be done, justice must be seen to be done. Now, the thing that makes me worried about this Tommy Robinson business, and I've never met the fellow, and I don't know anything about the case, but that's the point. It appears he's been sent to prison for 13 months, and I don't know anything about the case. I don't know what the legal implications are. I don't know what the offence was. I don't know anything about it at all. All I know is what I've seen on social media. And it didn't look to me like he'd done anything wrong, but I don't know. I don't know. And neither do you. So what I'm suggesting is, what is really, really wrong is the judge actually closing down any press comment on this. So the country doesn't know whether Tommy Robinson deserves to go to prison or not. We don't know. How can we make our own judgment on whether justice has been seen to be done, or whether natural justice has been done? And moreover, there is a caveat, is there not? That we have had one man sent to prison for putting a piece of bacon outside a mosque. He was given a year's sentence. It was only about 3 weeks before he was murdered. And another one came a little bit after that, and it was only about a week before he was attacked. Now, what bothers me is, I think we all know, and a lot of my friends in both the police and the prison service tell me that there are some prisons which are run by the inmates, a significant number of whom are natural enemies of Tommy Robinson, whether indeed he is safe or not. And I suspect that he isn't. All these things we don't know, all these things as citizens in a free society, we should be able to make our own judgments on. But we can't, because they've closed down any press freedom on this. I'm 68 years old, you know. I'm just wondering where this country's going. I'm honestly wondering where this country's going.
Hold on.
Because it seems to me we're going back to sort of the East Germany of the Soviet Union. No freedom of speech, no freedom at all for the ordinary citizen to express his views, whether they be right, wrong, or indifferent, it doesn't matter. That's the whole point of free speech, that we can say what we like when we like, as long as we're not actually hurting anybody else, in the spirit of John Stuart Mill, for example. So this Tommy Robinson thing makes me deeply uneasy, and I think it makes us all deeply uneasy. And I think when we start losing faith in the judicial system, it's the thin end of the wedge. And it's the end of a civilised society as we know it. I hope I don't go to prison for actually making this observation. Maybe I will. Who knows?
God bless you.
Can't argue with that.
You can't.
So we have to be organised. The one thing the system is organised. It knows where people are, where people have got to be. It knows how to transport people. We need unity. We need to start arguing. We need to come together. We need to be formulated. We need to formulate plans. We need to put things into place. And if we can do that,
public meeting and rally being organised via social media, which Tommy Robinson has backed for June the 9th.
June the 9th.
Right. Yeah.
June the
Well,
9th.
don't forget. Bear in mind also that Tommy Robinson was supposed to be speaking yesterday outside Downing Street with the parents of these 3 children, these young teenagers that were innocently murdered by extremists, and I think that had a lot to play with his incarceration. Godfrey Bloom is absolutely spot on. The judge, in fact, has acted ultra vires to the Bill of Rights of 1688. And Tommy's had no fair due process. He's had no legal representation, if you want to go down a legal or lawful route. He's just been incarcerated at the will and behest of someone who wears a wig, and that's very dangerous. And I don't think the people are going to tolerate it for too much longer, because they're actually seeing it as raw as it is. When I was out there yesterday, the people, the youngsters, this is very, very encouraging. We had lads up there of 22, 23, chatting about Tommy. They've had enough. They're prepared to take their country back and stand up and be counted. And I'm like, yeah, this happens. This is going to happen soon, guys. Trust me. This Downing Street got a shot across the bows the other day. And the people that are doing this are just ordinary, upstanding peoples of communities that have they're sick to the back teeth of this evil. And I spoke to one copper yesterday. I shook his hand at the end, and I said to him, what do you think? He said, well, I'm not allowed an opinion. I said, there lies the problem. I said, surely you must, you'd rather be doing better things. He said, oh, I'm getting double time today, mate. It don't bother me. There's your problem. These people are all paying mortgages. They're all stuck in the system like everybody else is. Are the police. I'm sure that 99% of them would not be following the orders that they are following unless they were getting pay packets in a month.
Dave, do you know what UCC is?
That's James Gore. Bless you, James. Go on.
Yeah, Uniform Commercial Code. Yeah, I've been all over UCC for years.
Tell us what it is.
Uniform Commercial Code is what the Commerce Uniform Commercial Code was issued by the Vatican many, many centuries ago. It's how countries trade. It's how we all operate in commerce. It's how the police operate. It's how the courts operate. It's how when a ship comes into port with goods on it and it gets berthed into port, there has to be a manifestation. That all has to go down.
You can use it against them as well.
Well, the UCC filings actually that we done in 2013 by the One People's Public Trust are very, very, very effective in actual fact. And I know a lot of people that have had a lot of success with using them. Because they collapsed on they foreclosed on all the banks and that back in 2013. Some very, very clever people come together. And I've seen with my own eyes how the UCC filings and the courtesy notices just make the system go away. So we're in interesting times, and it's all been building up.
You can use them on a accepted for value and promissory notes.
You can do. I mean, I've got I've seen first-hand evidence of a woman that discharged £2,900 for a company called SSC that were chasing her for $2,800, saying she used accepted for value, and they credited it to her account after about a year of her hounding them. They're not going to roll over straight away. But see, this is what we have to do with the system. We have to hit it in the pocket. It's only interested in us. You are just a name and a number now on a piece of paper, and the government can only operate on you within paperwork. It's ink on paper. But when we as people deny them a lifeline, we're snuffing out that fire. When we stop paying our taxes, when we stop paying our council tax, when we stop doing this, when we stop doing that, when we accept for value. I've got a friend who paid a mortgage off in 2015 for £200,000 with a securitized promissory note, and he's got the deeds to his house. It's very
difficult, though, Dave, because on the one hand, it's all very well to prescribe that idea, but the reality is that only a few people will do it.
Just got
hold on, James, please, and then they will end up in court with CCJs and all the rest of it. No, James, go on. What were you going to say?
No, of course not. Of course not.
Okay,
of course not. No, my friend hasn't got a CCJ. The woman who credited her account's not got a CCJ. No, you do it with honour, and you make them. You use.
I'm not sure that I don't know that I can endorse this as an idea. So far as editorial, I'm just.
Well, it's not an idea. It's truth, Ollie, and you have to look into this. You have to look into the UCC.
I
international
agree.
law. They can't go against it. Otherwise, you can hold them to account.
What's that, James?
Oh, there you go.
What's that?
If you use UCC, they can't go against it. If they are, you can hold them to account.
Come on, hold on. Whoa. We need something which is simple. Keep it simple, stupid. We need something that people can relate to. For example, we need to clog up the bloody motorway. We need to, stop people being able to get into London. And it's going to annoy people, but on the other hand, it's going to highlight an issue, possibly, if you did it every day, day in, day out. Civil disobedience that doesn't hurt anybody, that is controlled in a way that allows ambulances to go through and all the rest. I mean, just saying. Or, for example, people need to stop. Take a week off.
I'm going to use
a swathe of the British electorate. But if you're just saying things that a few people are going to do and a few people are going to understand, then it's not going to be effective because most people
needs to do a video
UCC, what the bloody hell is that?
Just waiting for a whiteboard.
Ollie.
Go on.
My friend, by paying his mortgage off of £200,000 with a promissory note, has done more damage to the system than anyone protesting and kicking any gates at Downing Street. This is the mentality.
I did see that promissory note. It's very funny.
We have to switch it up. He's not fighting the system. He's sitting in his armchair drinking a cup of tea. He's in honour. And it's all disappeared. It's all gone around him. He understands the matrix that he's living in. UCC, if you want to use UCC, you've got UCC 1-308, which is reservation of all your rights. And you're placing the obligations back on the system.
See, I hear you, but I know, for example, how long it has taken me to wrap my... And
you can use it to deposit
James,
on banks as
please don't talk over me. We don't... Oh, now I've lost my fucking thread. And now I've sworn. You know what? Oh, God damn it.
Ollie's going to have a heart attack if you ain't careful.
I'll tell you what. we've got to have some simple way that people can understand. Something simple that people can get on with. They haven't got to wrap their head around common law and all the rest of it, and go into understanding the Parliament Act of God knows what. People can't get their head around that. We need something that people can relate to. Like, get in your car, get on the M25, and put on your brakes. I want to say a big cheers to these awesome geezers here. Dave Richard, James Shaw, Aaron Bacon, Youpwn guy, who's kind of quiet tonight, bless him, and Thomas Whitelock. I'm sorry I got a big guy. See you tomorrow at 7. Guess what? We've got Graham Moore coming on tomorrow. That'll be interesting. Hey, Robert Angel, look after that one. Yeah.
Yeah. What's the difference between Basil Brush and ISIS?
Hold on. You're not talking to your mic. I can't hear you.
I said, what's the difference between Basil Brush and
balls.
ISIS?
Hold on. Oh, that's my fault. Sorry, that was my fault. Yeah, say it again.
Well, what's the difference between Basil Brush and ISIS?
I don't know. Boom. I don't know. What?
You only get one boom with ISIS.
You gotta laugh.
Yeah, I get banned on Facebook all the time, mate.
Hey, Jay,
I always get banned. I'm like, I've been banned.
Keep speaking it. Keep speaking the truth, people. I love you. Take care.
Yeah, I'm in shackles again.
Yeah, everyone needs to look up UCC, man. Trust me, it's international law. They can't rebut it. They cannot rebut it.
UCC, thank you, James. Thank you. Please put links up on the feeds as well.
Articles 4. That's the best one in my opinion.
Can you please put a post and send it to me as well on my timeline so that I can have a look at it, and I'll bring that up tomorrow.
Do you have a treasury in Spain?
What?
Do you have a treasury because the US
treasury everywhere? Well, I don't know. They've got a bloody great big national debt. It's certainly bigger than their GDP. I'll tell you that. Yeah. Guess who's paying for it? Guess who's paying?
I think the world's in debt to Jupiter.
Right. God bless you. Mañana.
Now then.
Right. Good night, everyone.
Now then.
Love ya.
Good night, Dave.
Night, everyone. Take care of yourself.
We'll have some food, mate.
Yeah. See you, James.